YouTube? Welcome back to UniXTCG, and today we're going to be doing a Battle Spirits gameplay video. This one will be versus red Star Dragons versus yellow Luster Burst. It's just cool. It's basically a mid-range deck with access to Nexus and Spirit removal versus a cool, really cool Luster-oriented deck that can put out some insane burst if you don't see Absolute Ice Shield. So it's going to be fun. We're going to get into it. And then I also just wanted to say that if you want to go down in the description and click on my link tree, you can see all the different corners of Universe X that you can explore. There's different social medias, there's different channels, the Twitch, there's places where, like my affiliate links to TCG, where you can buy singles and help me out directly. There's also my affiliate link to Mystic TCG, where you can buy sealed product or pre-order sealed product, and yeah, it's gonna be a good time. But if you want to just support the video in more direct ways, you can also just like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, hit the notification button so you never miss a beat, you know, all the normal YouTube things. And yeah, so hope you enjoy this. We're gonna try to make this as informative as possible, so feel free to pause the video if you see a card you don't understand, and stick around after the game to see a message from Mystic TCG so you can just understand why they are the best place to buy singles from on TCG Player, sell your cards to on Facebook, or buy or pre-order sealed product on their website with my code to give you 5% off. All right, let's get into it. Alrighty then, so we got Amani here commentating with me, so we can actually have some joint commentary. He won the die roll, so he's gonna force me to go first, you know, one less core to work off of. And
what are these two playing?
Right now, like as we said earlier, we got Star Dragon mid-range in red versus Luster Burst in yellow.
Oh boy, I see yellow cards. Oh boy, what was I doing? All right, let's see how this goes.
I mulliganed, so my hand was not keepable. I don't even remember what it was at that point, but I didn't also know exactly what to expect from this deck because it is yellow, the least tested against for me personally.
For reference, people, whenever you mulligan, you're supposed to put your hand at the bottom of the deck, then draw your top four, then shuffle. I don't know what he was just doing, but that's cool.
I mean, I definitely put the hand down, drew my top four, then shuffled, so.
I'm going to start with the Blessed Cathedral. This is one of the most important cards in any yellow deck. I'm pretty certain to say without it, you're going to struggle because you just don't have generation of cores. And generation of cards, you burn out very fast. Ooh, that a pass? All right. So, for anybody who hasn't played against a red deck, if you're going to try to set up a field spell against a Nexus against a red deck, you generally want to do that as soon as possible, because anytime after the first turn when you do it, when they get reduction on their removals, like the Burning Forces or their Andromedas, it really doesn't make sense anymore at that point. You're just trading a card, and it's not valuable. Oh, wow. So, speaking of Nexus, looks like we're playing Netherworld Depths in our red deck here.
Yeah, definitely wanted to get that started because as soon as I saw the 2-drop in the Blessed Cathedral, I realized I'm going to get swung on a lot, and we need to draw into outs and ice shields. So the prioritizing Netherworld Depths is what was going on for me.
Clever. Well, it looks like you're being rewarded here. We are going to swing with the Pentan, moving our cores around a bit. So Blessed Cathedral is level 2 skill once you have 3 cores on it. During either player's attack step, if your yellow spirit dies, you'll draw a card in addition to adding a core. And that's important to remember. This is during the attack step only, and that is the one weakness in Blessed Cathedral. So you do got to be mindful. Pentan still has his 3 markers to stay above Burning Force level. He's at 4K, so we're feeling safe here. We're going to see what Spencer does, though.
I'm playing Andromeda because that Blessed Cathedral needs to go. It was a really thick expenditure, but because I'm not playing against purple, I can at least not have to stack all my cores on things. But no, we had to get rid of the Blessed Cathedral because that would have gotten him so much mileage as I try to tear apart his board. And then
so
I got
we hit the Star Blast. Yeah. And the Star Blast with the Pentan obviously reduced the cost to 3, so we did get a full draw 4 there. It was tough for him to have to pay 6 to play the Andromeda because that was basically his turn to do it, but the Cathedral had to go. We were able to kind of see it coming and set that Star Blast up to get the reward for it. So I think drawing the 4 cards kind of balances out the loss of Cathedral, at least for a couple of turns. But we're going to see if we can capitalize here. So we dropped the Great Bow Angel. Her ability, of course, when she pays the Soul Core to be summoned, she draws 2 and then bottom decks 2 cards. Very poor statting. It doesn't really matter how many cores you put on Great Bow Angel. It'll always only be at 3k power. So really, if you don't get the value out of the skill here, it's really not worth playing. So here we are now. Get another burst face down. I don't know if that's another Star Blast or not. But at this point now, I think we're just going to pass. I don't think it's worth giving him Netherworld to head first into Andromeda to not kill Andromeda, because Great Ball is only 1,000 at this point. Content's way too important.
Yeah, we're trying to play from behind here because he's setting up, and now that he's played the Great Bow Angel, I'm still kind of confused. We just set a burst, and we had the Star Blast in hand before, but when I saw the Pen 10, I wasn't quite sure what we'd be getting into. Now that I've seen the Great Bow and the Pen 10, and I know kind of more what yellow effects do, I did set the Star Blast draw to hopefully capitalize off that soon. Past then, we have a big body on board, but he's only one body, so I have to figure out what I'm going to do here in terms of attacking and defending. 3 life seems a little scary against what could still be very, very 2-drop rushy, and so I'm trying to figure out how to set up my turn. We're going to play Divine Dragon Halberd in order to hopefully keep Lobies from coming through, keeping him from spreading out his cores with a lot of bodies. We're just basically trying to survive right now. This is legitimately my only goal right here. But we also realize that he is at a clean 5 health to my 3, and we'll start making a board soon. So swinging with a Halberd, and then using his new skill, his level 2 skill, to pop the Great Bow Angel to try to force the field down, lowering reduction while trying to protect myself from next turn. And then we get the block off of Pen 10. This is what I was trying to go for, but I didn't see the Drowsy Fumes coming. So what was supposed to be an overwhelming trade turned into just a straight up trade, 1-for-1. At this point, trying to figure out whether I want to keep Andromeda on defense. We do have the Ice Shield, so we are going to try to be way more aggressive. And yeah, feeding them cores and passing the turn. Let's see. So right now, sorry, Monty dropped out of the call real quick. Start of his turn.
I'm back.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so we're caught up here. So it looks like we got a Grimoire Fairy now. So this one is very similar to the Marigold. It's a little bigger. When you go and play it, you search your top 4, you pull a spell card to your hand, and then you bottom deck the rest of the card. Have to be pretty careful with these kind of effects here, because obviously when you bottom deck them, they're gone for like, there's no shuffling in Battle Spirits. One thing you notice very quickly. So this is a trickier skill here, but like Grimoire Fairy also is a little bit bigger with the 3 cores, so it does stay above Burning Force, and that's pretty good. So we go up Pentan swing here, and he plays the Ice Shield. Okay, I think it's because he saw me pick up the Royal Potion. He probably just doesn't want me to start cycling through my attacks here, because people die without any defenses. So
correct. And, we need to work on getting this board down, and it's not worth going down to 1 life against this deck. So here we're going to play the Rain Needle, and then we're going to Star Blast to draw 2 now that we have 2 reduction. And then we're going to Star Blast again, or not Star Blast again, I believe Charge Draw here.
Just kind of showing get on his Facebook Messenger. Disrespectful.
All good, all good. But I mean, we just drew 4 cards. We are scared. We have 1 Ice Shield, but that is not quite enough. And so we want to make sure that we are able to protect ourselves, because we can start seeing how this is going. We've seen some of the cards he's picked up. We're starting to get the feel for the deck, and we realize that we are probably going to die a horrendous death. So 1 Ice Shield isn't enough. We're trying to dig, and we pass the turn over after.
Hands are getting kind of thick here. Another Rain Needle. Ooh, an attack from Andromeda.
Yep, we're going to get a blocker out in Rain Needle, and then we're going to swing with Andromeda, because sometimes you can really lose focus in trying to keep your board and hand up and not realize that you do need to apply pressure.
Yeah. It's beautiful that Andromeda has Confront. It just takes the Grimoire Fairy right out and allows the Rain Needles to get through for the easy damage, while the Pentan is in exhausted mode. Couldn't really stop any of it. But now we have reached the 2 life point. We're down to 1 reduction on the yellow board. What can he produce? So there's Caladrius, and this is one of the key cards in this Luster build. It's a level 2 Luster card. And the Cathedral is back. Interesting. So it doesn't look like it's going to be a lethal turn, probably an Ice Shield bait, but Caladrius has Luster. So remember, Luster says that while the card is attacking, any spells that are used go back to the owner's hand at the end of the battle, as long as the Luster card survives the fight. That's very important to remember. So Caladrius is going sideways, and we've got a bit of loose cores to spend here. Not too much, right? Gleam of Hope for free, thanks to the Pentan. It's just a draw one, gives him 1,000 points, keeps him out of Burning Force range, and then just goes back to hand. Easy cycle.
And funny, I tried to prematurely flip the Ice Shield, and Amani had to be like, no, I got stuff to do. Like, this deck is incredibly battle step intensive. So,
yes.
Yeah, I definitely had to kind of rewind that. Going back to my turn, of course, we got a draw off of the Netherworld Depths. He was able to cycle, but now we are in a lot of trouble because we started to see how he's building up the hand. He's built up his board, and with how many spells he's gotten, we now are very much so aware that Michaela is probably in this deck, especially with the Luster being played and the spell acquisition. So we need to set up for not dying because it's impending. He's getting to that core total. So here we're gonna actually have to hard cast Siegwurm Thunder Dragon, and then hard cast the Supernova Siegwurm to make sure that we're at a full 5 health, because that's going to give us more draws with Netherworld if he decides to swing out next turn. Of course, we get Foreign with Star Blessed here, because why not? He's getting a full 4 off of that. And I have to kill one of my Rain Needles to have enough. Normally, you're used to seeing this come out with Big Bang, not a hard cast, but it's important that we kill his board to make sure that he has not only less reduction, but also less things to swing at me with. He's seen a lot of cards. He's resolved 2 full-priced, like, Star Blast, so we can't really hope that he doesn't have the ability to reestablish his board. Plus, he's got a lot of cores at this point. But we had to put him down to 1 to make sure that if he cannot kill me this turn, next turn is going to be the turn that he dies, hopefully. So, yeah, passing the turn after that.
Here we are with a big turn. Looking at 15 cores. Cathedral only restores 1 core from the Siegwurm Death. Of course, every instance of a card being killed restores, gains 1 extra core, so it's only 1 core. We're back with Caladrius here, the Luster Bird. Level 2 at 3 cores gives it Luster. It's still pretty small though, so still kind of dangerous. Right at that 3k point. We've got Pentan for 1, always at 4k, reduces the first spell. And so now we go to use main step Gleam of Hope to give Caladrius 1,000 power, just to make sure it stays out of Flash Burning Force range, because of course Burning Force will end this combo, probably the rest of the game. We do know that Siegwurm Nova has been played, and so of course the Soul Core is gone, so it also puts him out of Volcanic Brave range too. And now the lady herself is here, Michaela. When you play her, you search your top card for each yellow Nexus or Spirit in play. Every magic card that you see adds to your hand. Every other card goes to the bottom. And with 4 cores, she reaches level 2, which means that now during either attack step, all the spells that you play are free. So here is the combo. You have a Luster attacker here, and you have a free spell. Let's see what happens.
We did draw off of Netherworlds. The way I see it, I have 3 free draws before not seeing Ice Shield can be potentially fatal. So we are trying to hope that we get there after already playing, I believe, 2 Ice Shields.
Whoa. Here come the spells. We've got 2 Drowsy Fumes, into Angelic Pressure, into Angelic Pressure, into a Gleam of Hope for the draw. Oh my goodness.
To an Exhaust Nexus.
And to an Exhaust Nexus. That's a full board clear. And a Royal Potion. Oh my gosh. To untap all of your 2-cost spirits. That is the combo, ladies and gentlemen. The Caladrius attacks with the Luster, and
Luster bringing it all back to his hand, mind you.
We do it all over again. So that kills Siegwurm with the Angelic Pressure and the Royal Potion to untap. And it does look like if we don't see an Ice Shield here, it is going to be the end of the game. We're now on double with a Royal Potion.
So we have 1 more draw to see Ice Shield. You can see we're holding literally a 4th of our deck in our hand, and we're hoping to see the 3rd Ice Shield. and it is not. And that pretty much concludes the game. We have to take that life, and we'll just actually let them play it out. So we're scooping and going into game 2.
Goodness. Okay, so we really got to see the power of that level 2 Luster combo there. Royal Potion coming through as a normally pretty expensive, not very effective yellow card. Easy 1-up, though, got Caladrius the ability to attack pretty much infinitely, where it was show the Ice Shield or, I guess, pick up your cards. So now with that being over, Spencer gets choice on who plays this game, and he makes me go first, so I start by setting what I would hope to be Star Blast draw because I don't have anything else.
Yep, we kept the hand because it had Ice Fish and at least 1 Ice Shield in it. And we decided, or sorry, Ice Fish. We have Flame Fish, so the exact opposite now. So we have Flame Fish. We're gonna actually play Rain Needle into Flame Fish and immediately swing. Now that we've seen the beat of his deck, we understand that when Michaela comes down, it becomes very, very, very rough for me to win the game. So we're going to try to switch more from the mid-range deck to the low-to-the-ground version of play. Mainly just not trying to actually take that out.
So we did hit the Blessed Cathedral. It looks like Amani had the Blessed Cathedral in his opening hand and chose not to play it? Or did he just draw? No, I think he just drew that for turn. That's rough.
He also set the Star Blessed from what I could see, and of course that has to make sure we can play into it. Had a little misstep about whether or not I wanted to set Ice Shield this early, knowing that we could probably get Star Blessed a little later and go for it. So we decided that having the Ice Fish is just enough. It's too early in the game for me to get completely blown out with the amount of cards in his hand.
Flame Fish.
Sorry, I
yeah, it's very
Ice
important to note. Outside of purple, yellow's probably the next easiest color to resolve Star Blast draw on. So if you do happen to see a couple of extra ones, free draw 2 is better than cost draw 2. So here we are, Caladrius on board. That's a lot of cores on a Caladrius. And a Gleam of Hope. It looks like we are just digging. Must not have anything here.
Yeah. This is why I'm being so aggressive early game, because, like I said, playing that last round allowed me to very much so see the speed of this deck and the turns, the window I have to successfully get in damage and potentially survive. So right now we're trying to put them down to where a touch is lethal. Drawing and playing Volcanic Canyon to make sure I can this time hopefully see more Ice Shield, see more counter or combo pieces, and then immediately going in with the Rain Needle, knowing that his defenses are low and Rain Needle's actually kind of fat. He would need to resolve at least 2 spells to get rid of Rain Needle now that he doesn't have a blocker. So he ends up hitting the Ice Shield. Forcing the Ice Shield from hand when it's not set in burst is very powerful. Star Blast draw, I think was what's set, not being able to activate, and then putting down the 1.
This is looking rough. So that's Twilight Dragon Rider, and when he attacks, every time he uses a spell, he can rest another one of your opponent's spirits. Be right after that spell resolves. So as long as you stay in flash step, you can in fact exhaust all of your opponent's spirits before they get to block step. That's very cool. His level 2 is Luster. His level 3 is Luster. So, but his level 3 is 4 cores, so it's pretty expensive to get Luster on it. I guess he is the small alternative to Caladrius because at least he does maintain above Burning Force organically just by making sure that he's at level 3. But it's not going to do very much here. Definitely not in this game state. We're at 1 life. It can't be Ice Shield face down because it can't resolve. And the Dragon Rider is attacking. We are going to play an Ice Shield. So we go Gleam of Hope, Angelic Pressure, just trying to get some kind of control of the board.
And in this particular position, I did a very early Ice Shield because even with that hand, like, well, with the board as it is without Michaela, this could have been an easy 2 to 3 life gone if I didn't Ice Shield with the amount of cards he has in hand. So I wasn't even going to take the chances. I just immediately want to turn off the turn, especially with another Ice Shield in hand. So now we have gotten into our draw step. We're contemplating. The hand's pretty actually balanced, so we end up discarding the Enterprise because there's no way we're getting long enough in the game to play that. We're going to hard cast a Star Blessed draw to see what we can get, and we did get another low to the ground swinger. That's exactly what we need in this situation. He has a blocker, but that blocker is particularly very, very important to his turn, but he has 2 cards that can enable Luster. So we're just at a position where we need to force through damage, because at most we have 2 turns left now that we have 1 Ice Shield. So we're going to play that Dragron Trooper, core up on a couple of things, and then we're also going to move some cores onto Volcanic Canyon. Everything's going to be a little bit bigger now. We're going to play another Volcanic Canyon because right now I don't think I can close out game this turn, but we want to be able to draw the max amount of cards next turn now that we have the Ice Shield in hand, and attempt to close out game the following turn.
We're doing some power calculation.
Mm-hmm. Most of our moves are pretty telegraphed. I swung at the Ice Fish first because if anything happens to it and the Soul Core is still on it, destroying it will potentially get some more benefits off to my end. He's playing around it though pretty well. The Angelic Pressure coming in, and then the Exhaust Nexus.
That's going to be a full board clear. Yep. And the Flamefish is going to take the Twilight Dragon with it. Did it survive? So the Flamefish was at, because of the Volcanic Canyon, the Flamefish was at, I want to say 5,000, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Or 4,000. I think it was at 4,000. And then we went Angelic Pressure on the Dragron Trooper, which was also above, and then the Exhaust Nexus. So yeah, not quite the full board clear. Now we get the Freestyle in play, another Caladrius, just kind of moving around here, trying to get these cores organized. But I mean, we're all fully aware that the natural comprehension of yellow, most of these cards are just not capable of surviving red's standard removal. So we're looking to press through here and try to get something. So Caladrius goes first with Luster. And we're going to go Gleam of Hope there to draw another card. It does not have Luster here, but for some reason I picked the card up anyway. I'm just going to pretend I didn't see that.
We took the first core, and then we are going to end up using Ice Shield afterwards. We want to make sure we have the most amount of cores the following turn, because we need to close out. That's just what we have to do. We're at a point of the game where we don't have another Ice Shield in hand.
Amani is moving way too fast. Twilight Dragon Rider does not have Luster anymore. It is only at 2 cores, and he picked up the cards again. Sorry, so, I cheated.
The main thing here is you're going to find that there's not necessarily a game after this, because Amani was actually on the time constraint, and that's what we were playing at towards the end of this, and that was our bad. But I really did like some of the interactions and showing off the power of Luster Burst, so I really wanted to upload this just so people could see how yellow is if you haven't seen what yellow can do yet. But it goes back to my turn, and we actually need to end the game here or we die next turn. And of course that involves playing some more small bodies and hoping he doesn't have Ice Shield, because we know what set is an Ice Shield.
To be interesting. I do think that despite the setup here, we are going to close if Freestyle is the only block at 1,000 power. Oh boy.
So he has 1 blocker up, but Halberd Dragon is going to be able to destroy said blocker. We're going to put up something else for insurance just in case he gets froggy with the spells. And we're going to swing in, leading with Halberd. It should be leading with Halberd to make sure we destroy the blocker. So yeah, the Freestyle goes away, and unless he has Ice Shield right here, or anything to disrupt the attack and Ice Shield, it's pretty much game. So he draws, and that's it. So let's talk about Mystic TCG, your one-stop shop for all your TCG needs. On the site, you can buy or pre-order plenty of sealed product for plenty of games. Just make sure though, if you're pre-ordering, to give it 3 to 4 months in advance to start looking, because sometimes the product is indeed hot, supply and demand, you know. And then if you want to buy singles, go on tcgplayer.com. There's going to be a link in the description where you can buy for the best value. And if you want to sell cards or collections, you can message them on their Facebook site so you can get the best bang for your buck on any type of way you want to buy or sell cards. And then, while you're at it, you can use the code UNIXTCG at checkout to get even more of a discount. So hey, what are you waiting for? Check out Mystic TCG today.